Do you think it makes sense to prepare for GMAT under time pressure? For example, you give yourself 3 months to prepare for GMAT, or 2 months, or 6 months. In this video, we'll understand why it doesn't make sense or why it's not advisable to give yourself strict deadlines. Hi, my name is Mandeep. I'm a GMAT coach and founder of GMAT Mantra. GMAT Mantra is the only company in the world that tells students how to study and then we tell what to study. So if you're stuck with your GMAT preparations, call us to understand how to study for GMAT and then we'll tell you what to study. I remember after my MBA, I was placed with one of the top financial companies. So this company used to sell financial instruments, for example, insurance, equity, then it used to sell real estate. So we were given 2 days of training where we were explained the benefits of these products. And third day onwards, we were asked to start selling these products. So I stayed with this company for almost an year. And in none of those months, I achieved my targets. I failed in most of the months. I failed to achieve my targets. Initial 6 months, I was doing around maybe 5%, 10%. And after that, it was around 20, 25, 30%. And I left the job. After I left, I thought that selling is not my cup of tea, or I don't have the selling skills. But once I started my own company, and because I'm into teaching, so I have to sell my coaching services to the students. And I do it pretty well. So in last few years when I started the company and just before that, I took some courses on sales. I read a lot of books where I understood the basics of selling and what is the right mindset behind selling. Because for example, nobody told me that you have to just focus on the needs of the customer. A very basic thing. We were just going there telling them what we sell. But when I now sell to the students, I don't even do any selling. I just talk to my students. Similarly, when most of the students approach me for the coaching, they always ask me, I have 3 months to prepare, so I want to give the GMAT in next 3 months. And some even come up with, I just have 1 month to prepare for GMAT. And then some come with 6 months. I rarely find some people who tells me, Mandeep, I'm going to prepare first and see what score I get. I'm not in a hurry, but it's not that I'll have entire life, but I'm not in a hurry. And once I get the GMAT, then I'll think of applying. So it's not that necessary that I'll apply this year. So once I get the GMAT, I understand which all colleges come under my range and then I'll apply. So when you prepare under time pressure or with this strict deadline, on what basis do you give yourself such deadlines? Do you know what is the right skill set required for GMAT? And do you know the right mindset to prepare for GMAT? Everybody thinks that, okay, it's just maths and English, so how much time will it take? And I've already started this in school, so I should be able to do it in 3 months. Fine, makes sense. But do you know what is the right approach to solve the questions under 2 minutes? Are you aware of it? And what about the mindset? Most of the students don't even know how to prepare. For example, let's say you're preparing for quant. And a few days back, I got a call from the student and she said that she has already solved 3,000 questions of quant. I said, okay. And she ended up getting 38, which is almost 0 in quant. So I asked what she did. So she said that I solved the question. Then I asked one question. So when you got a question wrong, did you solve it yourself or you looked at the explanations? She said for more than 90% of the questions which she was not able to solve, she looked at the explanations. Because she assumed that more practice she do, better she gets. But it doesn't work in the GMAT and probably none of the aptitude test this philosophy works. So for GMAT, you just have to, you do 100 questions, but do them yourself. Because GMAT is not about the knowledge, though you need knowledge, but more is application. And application is based on your focus, your concentration, your patience. So if you don't practice right, for example, if you sit with the question and solve it yourself. So do you understand, when you stick with one question for maybe 15 minutes or half an hour, what is it doing? It is, increasing your focus. It is increasing your concentration to look at one thing for an extended period of time, which is the basic skill, or I would say the most important skill required to prepare for GMAT. So when you prepare for GMAT, stop giving yourself some random deadlines, or probably, most of the students go online, read some blogs, and somebody has said that, oh, I prepared in 1 month, I prepared in 5 weeks, I prepared in 3 months. Do you know the background of that person? That person may have prepared for GMAT for 4 times. Or maybe that person is pretty good with quant already, and he has already studied for one of the aptitude tests. So he just took 1 month in which he just took the mock test and he's ready. So without understanding his background, how can you give the same deadlines to yourself? You have to understand you are an individual who has different circumstances, different aptitude level, and different knowledge. So the best way is that don't give yourself any deadline. That doesn't mean that you're going to prepare for GMAT, endlessly. No, it doesn't mean that. What you have to do is you have to understand that there are certain habits you have to develop. For example, one of the habits is studying every day for 1 hour. Because most of the students, they say we'll study for 2 hours every day, but most of the time they don't study. So what you do for 15 days, you just study the basics of grammar or maybe the basics of quant. So when you do the basics, there will not be anything difficult. So for 15 days, you just study for 1 hour. So you develop a habit of studying for 1 hour a day. That gives you confidence. That gives you momentum. You don't start, okay, I'm going to study for 10 hours a day. No, it doesn't work like that. Because most of the students, when I say most, I'm talking about more than 95%. Yeah, there are some brilliant students who can prepare themselves. And they're like this. Means every class, whenever you go to school, college, there are a few toppers who know how to study. I'm talking about people, who are average and now they want to achieve the brilliant results. Okay, so once you have the habit of studying for 1 hour, then start with one section at a time. So you can take sentence correction and understand what is required to master sentence correction. Stay with sentence correction till you start getting at least 80% accuracy consistently when you practice sentence correction. Because once you know how to prepare for sentence correction, you can use the same thing to prepare for any other section. So second section will take less time. But what happens is everybody starts preparing all the sections same time. So they never learn how to study. Okay. So if you're preparing for GMAT, and if you're, I would say that some of the students who come to me, they've already given GMAT twice, thrice, and still they don't understand that you should not give yourselves any deadlines. But still, if you're preparing for GMAT, don't give yourself some random deadlines. Prepare for GMAT without any deadlines, okay, and take one step at a time. Hope this helps you to give you the right mindset, and don't give yourself some random deadlines. Thank you.